Okay, well, we'll go ahead and get started. Hello, good afternoon. My name is Nicole Radin, and I am a program officer here at Women's Economic Ventures. I help oversee the day-to-day implementation of our various training programs. For those of you who are not familiar with Women's Economic Ventures, or WEV for short, we are a local nonprofit organization based in Santa Barbara and Ventura counties. And we support local entrepreneurs through providing training programs, advising services, loans, and a community of like-minded business owners. Today's webinar is going to be focused on how to optimize your e-commerce store for the holiday season. But before we begin, I just had a brief announcement that I wanted to share about an opportunity that's coming up related to this topic. So this holiday season, the members of the WEV community are invited to participate in WEV's second annual virtual Shop Local Market. This is an online marketplace that offers a free listing to WEV alum, clients, members of our WEV community that can help you boost your brand visibility and drive traffic to your website during the holiday season. So to give you an idea of what the marketplace, what a listing in the marketplace looks like, I have a couple of screenshots to share. Note that these pages are not live until the market actually opens in November. But this is the home page. This will be the home page. It includes, we've categorized the items or services into categories that are clickable links to any items that our vendors have tagged that fit into these different categories. So the idea is that a shopper can come in and click on jewelry and accessories and then look at all of the different items that fit into that category. We also have a search feature here, so if someone was looking for a necklace, they could type that in and search, and then all of the local businesses that are highlighting a necklace will be listed. When a shopper clicks on a category, they'll be taken to that category's page where they will see products that are tagged that fit into that, and then when they click on a product, they will be taken to a business's listing. So this is a fictional sample listing, Allie's Lemonade. A product or a business page will have a photo of the business owner or business owners and a little bit about you. We really want to encourage that kind of personal touch. That's one of the great things about shopping local, is that you're supporting a member of your community. Participants in the Shop Local Market can feature 1 to 3 of their top selling items or services. And then these are live links that go directly to your e-commerce website where they can purchase from you directly. And then we have you'll have an opportunity to share a little bit about your business. And then we have a link to your homepage, and then if you have an in-person shopping location, we'll also provide that address as well. The market will be open from November 15th through December 13th, and the applications are available starting on October 1st. So after today, if you've learned about how to optimize your e-commerce site and you're getting ready for the holidays, if you'd like to apply, the link to the application will be in the We've Got News newsletter that goes out on October 1st. So if you're not yet signed up for our newsletter, there's a link in the chat to this link here, get connected at Weave Online, and you will be able to you will be notified on October 1st with that opportunity. So without further ado, I am delighted to hand it over to Chris Snyder from Shopify LA to teach us about how to optimize those e-commerce sites. So take it away, Chris.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And hey, everybody, how you doing? My name is Chris. I am the Senior Community Manager or Community Lead from Shopify Los Angeles. And I'm based in Los Angeles, but I have LA and New York. I don't really know how that all happened, how I became bi-coastal, but that is kind of what this deal is. And today I'm here to talk about getting ready for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And there's actually a whole slew of things that happen in between. So it's not really just those 2 days. I've got the chats opened up here. Let me drop a little thing. There we go. So I have the chats opened up. Feel free to ask questions, drop comments. If you want to talk more about anything that's on the screen, just feel free to drop those in the chats right there. And I'll drop a link in here because I will forget. I'm not that terribly bright. So there we go. Our website's at the top. So feel free there to check it out. There's lots of free classes, workshops, events, tons of free resources there. The link on the bottom, however, that's for a free virtual one-on-one session. So if you want to grab a, virtual coffee, like on a Zoom call like this, grab a coffee and talk about your business, your idea for a business, Facebook, marketing, SEO, branding, ads, the weather, politics, whatever you want to talk about. It's free. It's 30 minutes of time that you can use to talk about anything you want to talk about. Use that link on the bottom, book the time slot that works for you. If you need a bilingual link, if you want that link to be English or Spanish, so, if that's a little easier for you, use this link right there for bilingual. Now you drop that. And with all that little housekeeping stuff done, boom, there we go, bilingual. There you go. Let me share my screen, make sure this is going to work, and away we go. Like I said, I have the chats pulled up. They're right here on the screen in front of me. I'm pretty good about keeping that all going. So feel free to engage, ask questions, and do all that good stuff. I'm going to shut off my camera here so I'm not distracting you and I'm bouncing my head around and the glare off the bald head. But we're going to talk about getting ready for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and actually all these other holidays that go along with it. Because we tend to think about Black Friday as being kind of this one-off thing, this kind of anomaly, this one big event. And that's actually kind of a big mistake that gets made over and over again. As small businesses, we get all hyped up about Black Friday, Black Friday, Black Friday, but we miss so much opportunity and we really miss the whole point of the season. The whole point of the season isn't really just to make a ton of money on one day, right? Because that's nice, but there's so much more you can get from that. First of all, there's several days with a lot of sales opportunities, but there's a lot of opportunity to grab data that can be used then to turn sales into, or to turn the next 12 months into sales and to increase sales as well. So we want to take a look at it from a more holistic standpoint. What happened last year? What can we learn? What can we grab from these, several days, this period of time? And how can we turn that into something a little bigger and better to keep your business kind of booming throughout the whole year, rather than just have, a whole lot of work for a few days to make some cash and then, it kind of disappears. So we're going to talk about last year. Now, last year we know was a bit of a weird one. We know that it was, COVID and all those kind of things, but there's still some things we can take away from that. We're going to talk about this year, the dates to know. We're going to talk about analyzing what we can analyze and setting a goal. We'll talk about branding and why that's important and do a quick review through there. We're going to talk about website preparation. We're going to talk about marketing and post Black Friday, Cyber Monday, what you should be thinking about, what you should take away, and maybe thinking about for next year. It's a lot of information. It's going to be an overview. We're not going to spend an hour going through each of these topics. Any of these bullet points could be an hour, on its own. So please, if there's something in here you want to dive into a little deeper, either use that one-on-one link, and happy to, spend a half hour going through any one topic with you, or ask a question in the chats and happy to dive in a little bit deeper. So with that being said, let's talk about Black Friday, right? We've all heard about it. We all know what it is. We're all painfully aware of it. On the news, we see all the chaos and the Walmarts and the fighting and the riots and the craziness and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes we forget about what it really is and how it all started and what the whole purpose of it was. So let's do a little bit of a history lesson. Let's go back in time a bit. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, they're one of the most promoted shopping periods of the year. That's what it is. It's really a period of time, right? It's traditionally that Friday after Thanksgiving and it runs until the following Monday. But every year it seems to be earlier and earlier. Like then you got Black Friday sales starting on Thanksgiving, and then people are starting it on the Wednesday before, and it's kind of stretching into Saturday, and it's just getting kind of gray, right? So it's really just block of time. It all started back in about 1924, and it was actually Macy's. They had that Thanksgiving Day parade. They still have it on TV every Thanksgiving Day. And that's always been kind of the start of the holiday shopping season. Black Friday was always that, starting about 1960 is when people started calling it Black Friday. And everyone really operated at a loss throughout most of the year, or, it was really tough throughout most of the year. Black Friday came and everything went into the red as the holidays started, everyone started spending money for the holidays. It's when it started earning a profit and went into a black, hence the Black Friday part. So it was really the trigger of when people started making money. And as small businesses and as corporations started seeing this opportunity, this is when they really started ramping up and thinking, this is the time of year we can make some cash. How can we really, maximize this? How can we really jump on this? So this is really something that has just grown exponentially year after year after year. But before we jump into thinking about this year and getting ready, let's talk about last year and what we can learn. We have a question in the chat, and this is a really good one. It's something to really start thinking about as well. Since supply chains are being strained, would I recommend building a business email list early, creating an email campaign, and communicating to subscribers, reserve by early? It's absolutely one of the things we're going to talk about. One of the things this year that we need to think about is the planning, because this year is different than last year. In fact, every year is a little bit different. But one of the things we're going to talk about in here is understanding what is happening right now in the world. It's not just business as usual. And if you wait until, the day before Thanksgiving and wake up and go, I guess I should probably get ready for Black Friday, you're going to be in a world of hurt. It's going to be a really, really rough, period of time for you. Yeah. So the Kate's point, absolutely. We should be thinking about, these things really, email campaigns, email list. We're going to talk about some things to do now, but these are some things doing, buy early campaigns, doing early shopping campaigns, having people get aware of your brand, what you're doing, what you sell, so that they can start getting things on their list, and also making them aware that, hey, you know what, if this is part of your, your branding and your business, supply chains are damaged this year. Things are a little bit broken. There might not be stock in December, so you might want to buy early. You might want to start communicating that. Now, you don't want to get a sense of panic going, but there's nothing wrong with getting a little bit of timeliness out there and saying, hey, you know what, all the stuff you're seeing in the news, it might be a good idea to start shopping early this year. It's absolutely a strategy you want to employ. There's a couple of things I found really interesting when I was looking at last year's data. Number one, up at the top, free shipping was the primary driver for last year's buying decisions. It wasn't pricing. I thought that was really strange, because normally we think of Black Friday and Cyber Monday and all these, it's deals, right? We want the big deals. We want the big deals. But free shipping was the primary driver. Now, number two, close behind there, was promotions and limited time savings. But that's kind of a 1-2 punch, isn't it? And I think what that's telling us is that we have some opportunity in there to work those two together. That maybe we don't need to go 60% off. Maybe we can go 40% off and still keep free shipping in place, or work some kind of deal where we can maintain our margins, still give customers what they want with that free shipping, and still offer a discount without having to go to 70% or some crazy blowout where we just don't have a margin left if we offer free shipping. Now, going down a little further, easy to use website and app. I hope everyone has that. If you don't, please grab that link. We got that free one-on-one link, and let's get your website nailed in. But easy to use website, app, absolutely a given. It's a baseline expectation. It's a gotta be thing, gotta have it. Number 4 down there, buy online, pick up in store. Last year was COVID, and this was something that was relatively new in the marketplace last year. It wasn't something on the front of everyone's mind. Now, we're in this kind of weird limbo. Are we out of COVID? Are we in COVID? Are we post-COVID? Are we still in COVID kind of a world? If it's right for you, and if it works for your business, having a buy online, pick up in store might give you a leg up on competition. Now, whether you're a small business and you don't have a brick and mortar and you're going to do hey, I'm going to buy online, pick up at a Starbucks parking lot on a Saturday morning, and you're going to just do that kind of a thing, whatever works for you. But that might be something to explore, and it might give you a leg up on competition. It might avoid people having to pay for shipping. Goes back to that first point. It might also allow people to get everything picked up in one place. So, one of the pet peeves people have is having to wait for shipping, right? I order something, it takes a week or 3 days or a month or whatever to get there. And you have to kind of coordinate when all this stuff is coming and arriving, versus I can run out on a Saturday, I can order online, I can pick everything up. You can advertise that as a real convenience to customers if that's right for your business. So it's just something to consider. Now, the second box down, the number 2, shoppers on desktops converted at a significantly higher rate than mobile devices. And while that might not be surprising as we start really to think about that, it goes against our conventional mobile first thinking for e-commerce. We all think about e-commerce as mobile first. We build mobile first. Everyone's using smartphones. Our shoppers are on smartphones. Our customers are on their phones, right? That's how we think about it. Except this time of year. This time of year, that pattern changes a bit. And what we see is, yeah, they still use smartphones, but really where people are buying is on their desktops. And again, that's not surprising when we think about it, right? We go home and we do our Christmas shopping. We might do some of it on our phone, but it's not impulse buying in the same way. We're not just buying something randomly on Instagram in the same way. We're intentional. We're going to sit down with our list and, okay, I got to buy a shirt for Johnny and socks for Susie and a toy for Jack, Johnny, or whatever it may be. And we have that. We have it at our desk and we have our laptop open. It's an intentional shopping experience. So it's a little bit different. And this is going to play into our conversation a little bit here, but it's something to keep in mind. And that 6.9%, keep this in mind also. Right now, e-commerce converts 2.5%, best case scenario, right? So 6.9%, that's a huge conversion rate. So that's really a giant number. A couple other things that jumped out there as I was going through, almost everywhere you look, there's these incredible numbers, right? Everything's popping up every place, big numbers. And we know that a lot of these were COVID influenced because people were locked in and locked down and businesses were closed and lots of different things. However, tons of data is out there. Tons of statistics are out there that are showing that these are not temporary adaptations. These are behavioral changes. We're not 3 months into this. We're damn near 2 years into this. And these behaviors are still continuing, right? People are still getting groceries from home, groceries delivered at home. People are still using DoorDash and things like this. People are still ordering online, but picking up in store. These things are still continuing, right? A lot of these trends, a lot of these numbers are still continuing. There's no reason to believe that suddenly, we're coming up on October, that suddenly November 1st, all this is going to change. So we have every reason to believe that over this next holiday season, these trends are going to continue. Conversion rates are up. Curbside pickup is up. Online sales, that's up year over year over year. As far back as you want to go, Black Friday online sales continues to grow, right? Share of revenue by device, 39% for smartphones, laptops, and other devices at 61%. We just talked about that. So again, understanding how people are shopping is key. People are shopping on Black Friday. They're shopping on Cyber Monday. They're using curbside pickup. They're using laptops to do their shopping with. And yes, they're converting higher than they were in previous years. All good news for us. In fact, you got a big old giant number here. It's 188.2 billion with a B. Now, these are astronomical numbers. They're big, all-inspiring numbers, but we got to keep it in context. Last year was different. And, we don't know exactly how much that contributed to what. I mean, how much of that would have been given to shopping malls if malls have been open, and how much of that was different cities that were closed and people were not comfortable going out, and people were kind of in the mindset of ordering and shopping early because they weren't really sure it's going to happen. And so many of these things we just don't know how to attribute. So we have to keep it in context. So the big question comes about, what about this year? What do we do about this year? How do we take that information and start to apply it this year? Well, we know that some of these behaviors that people have picked up, these behavioral shifts, if you will, we know they're going to continue. There's every reason to believe they're going to continue. Every analysis, every statistic, every scientist, every report, every business analytic, everything says these are going to continue. And we're just seeing that month over month. And believe me, we've been watching pretty carefully over these last 4 months or so to really understand, are we going to start seeing a lessening or a weakening in some of these trends? Are we going to start seeing people going back into brick and mortars? Are we going to start seeing, point of sale sales picking back up, or pop-ups and craft fairs and things like that really popping up everywhere? What we're seeing is e-commerce sales are still on the rise. Brick and mortar sales, they're popping back up. They're slowly breathing again, but people are still shopping the same way. I mean, I just ordered Amazon groceries to my house again. I don't know why. I mean, I guess it's just what I'm comfortable doing. It's what I've been doing for so long. We get into habits, and it's hard to break habits. So as we think about this year, let's think about some dates. And let's think about some opportunities that present themselves before we start breaking down what we're going to do about this year. There's some holidays. See what I did there? Holidays. Yeah, it took me a while to think of that. Holidays that we need to think about, because Black Friday, Cyber Monday, these are just 2 days. And depending on your brand, depending on your business, depending on where you are and how you position yourself in the marketplace, there's several dates in here that could be real opportunities for you. Now, before we go through all these dates, before everyone gets all excited and stressed out and starts sweating and flopping around, you don't need to hit a home run on all these days. And there's no reason to necessarily plan massive campaigns and diving in headfirst all in on every one of these days. There's just no reason to, right? However, you don't necessarily only have to do Black Friday and Cyber Monday. I mean, Small Business Saturday could be a thing for some businesses. Giving Tuesday, if you have a charitable aspect to your brand, could be something to really, really lean into. Boxing Day, there's lots of opportunities here for different businesses. So even though Black Friday, Cyber Monday kind of traditionally marks the beginning of this holiday shopping season, and although the focus of this workshop is really to prepare you for that kind of key 4-day period, these tips and resources, you can really apply them to all these different days. And we're going to dive into the significance, make sure you're kind of aware of these different days and what they all are, because really each one of these potentially presents an opportunity. So November 1st through the 29th, right? These the first part of the month, actually 1st through the 25th, I should say. The days leading up to Thanksgiving. Customers are really eagerly awaiting the start of the holiday season. Now, these days, they don't usually translate into a lot of sales. People are holding onto their cash. Some people are doing a little early shopping, but these aren't really booming sales days. They can be. And this year, to Kate's point earlier, this year might be a little bit different with supply chains hitting the news. We're seeing all these ships lined up in the ports. People are talking about toy shortages and things like that. We could see an increase in sales and excitement, ramping up a little bit earlier. Quite possible. However, these dates, this period of time, the first part of November, as a small business owner, this is really when your strategy should be to start ramping up this excitement in your customer base, providing peeks into your special holiday items, maybe giving them an idea of what to expect once your season kicks off. And then again, to Kate's point, this is the time to start talking about shop early, get started early. Hey, there's going to be shortages potentially. Beat the rush. Don't wait till the last minute and maybe you're not going to get the thing you want because it's a hot mess out there. This is the time to do that. Don't wait until November 23rd to do a buy early campaign. I mean, by then people kind of already into it, right? You want to start that earlier. Now, Thanksgiving is an interesting day. It's interesting for a lot of reasons because traditionally this was always that taboo day. No one wanted to do sales on Thanksgiving. Nobody wanted to work on Thanksgiving. It was a big kind of don't touch Thanksgiving, leave it the hell alone. But over the last 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, we started to see more and more businesses that are, they're offering specials on this day. There's not a lot of competition compared to like Black Friday, for example. So, a lot of times families are together, right? But you're having Thanksgiving dinner. A lot of times people are having these in the afternoons or early evenings. And people are doing a little bit of shopping. They're online, they're browsing sales, they're making their plans for Black Friday. So there's a lot of online activity in the evenings. It's not a bad time to consider having a pre-Black Friday sale or a Thanksgiving promotion of some type. Now, if you're brick and mortar, maybe you don't want to be open on Thanksgiving, quite reasonable, but there's also an opportunity there to perhaps do some type of a Thanksgiving sale, Thanksgiving free shipping sale, beat the rush on Black Friday sale, that kind of thing. Black Friday, we all know about, we've seen the madness on TV. You got to peel all that back though and understand what it really is, right? It's changed. What was once the highlight for brick and mortar retailers, it's changed. It's evolving. In-store foot traffic, it's still strong year over year, but it's not the same as it was. Shoppers are really turning to e-commerce, especially early morning and late in the day. People get online first. They check the inventories, they check the sales, they check the blogs or the forums to see who has what and when and what the lines are like and all that kind of good stuff. They're online really early in the morning. And then they go out and they get their $100 TVs and they get in the fist fights in the parking lot and whatever chaos they do. And then they get back home late afternoons and they get back online again and do some more shopping. So there is online opportunity on Black Friday. It's not a brick and mortar day only. So keep it in mind. A lot of people throw their hands up and say, hey, this is not a day for e-commerce. It's not true. It's just, you have to know how to position yourself. If you're going to post an ad or you're going to post a campaign on Black Friday and you're going to post that at 9 a.m., you might miss some of that morning traffic. Consider maybe posting it at midnight or posting it on the evening of Thanksgiving, 5 o'clock in the evening of Thanksgiving, and having some kind of an early sale, something like that. Now, another one that's kind of interesting that's growing is Small Business Saturday. And this year, I believe this is the 27th. This is a shopping holiday in the US meant to boost awareness and support for local small businesses. And roughly, give or take, depending on the report you look at, about 99.7% of all registered businesses in the US qualify as a small business. Now, big box stores and big corporations, they still dominate the holiday selling season and the ad campaigns and all that. They have the money and the TV commercials and the billboards and all that. But this day really offers an opportunity for small businesses. However, there's a couple things that really you have to really capitalize on here. And one, if you're a small business, you've worked really, really hard to make your store look great. Doesn't matter if you're a brick and mortar, doesn't matter if you're an online seller, doesn't matter. You've made your website look amazing. You've worked hard to make your store look amazing. To a point where I may not know that you're a small business. You got to think about that for a second. If I pop into your website, do I know intrinsically that you are a small business? Do I know that you're a Latino-owned business or a woman-owned business or a Black-owned business or a local-owned business or anything? Do I have any idea? Probably not, because you may have worked really hard to make it look just as good as the big boys out there. So if you want to take advantage of Small Business Saturday, well, you got to let people know you're a small business. You got to communicate that. So that might mean changing up your website a bit. I don't mean junk it up or anything, but a banner across the top about supporting small businesses. Maybe make sure that About Us page is freshened up and really tells your brand story. Maybe it is having a blog or, podcasts are amazing. Having a podcast that tells your brand story. We have a podcast studio you can come using down in the LA space. Record your brand story where you can share your journey of how you got started, why you're here, why people should care, these kinds of things. Let people know that you're a small business and why they should care. If you want to capitalize on the Small Business Saturday, that'd be one of the first takeaways from that, is to let people know. Otherwise, they go to your site and they just don't know if you're a small business, a big business, a chain, a franchise, a corporation. And that's probably, it's a compliment to you of how well you've done with your business. But at the same time, it kind of works against you in this one holiday if you're going to capitalize on it. And then we get to Cyber Monday. Cyber Monday, generally speaking, offers the best online deals, the deepest discounts. And over the last 2 to 3 years, consumers have taken notice. It's really gotten a lot more traffic over the last 2 to 3 years. Last year was a bit different, but the last 2 years since 2018, we've seen a lot more traffic and activity on Cyber Monday than we have in previous years. A lot of it's driven by Amazon, we know that, but even with like the Best Buys and small businesses and things like that, sales in this date continue to grow. They get great response. It's something to really take advantage of. And again, you're really now stretching maybe this Thursday, Thanksgiving evening promotion into now Cyber Monday, right? So now you're talking about Thursday evening, Friday, Saturday, Small Business Saturday, Sunday, maybe things are carrying over. And now you got Monday. So you're really talking about a long stretch of sales activity here. A few others, I won't go through these all too much, but Giving Tuesday is a newer movement. Capitalize on charitable giving. So if that's something that works for your brand and works for your business, can be something else to really lean into to help drive sales and drive promotion and connect to your community. December 14th is kind of an important one for a couple of reasons. One, it's a lesser known day, but it's typically a one-day event that occurs mid-December. And this year, I think it's December 14th. And it is usually a day where you offer free shipping on in-stock items to guarantee the delivery of orders by Christmas Eve. Now, this also, coincidentally, coincides usually with the last possible day you're going to offer products without any kind of, advanced rate shippings or, rush shipping or anything for customers to get things in time by Christmas. So it's kind of like, hey, today's it. If you don't order by today, people aren't getting it by Christmas. It's kind of that last sense of urgency, that last gasp, that last push. After this, things move to like 2-day shipping, express shipping, got to pay extra for shipping to get it in time. And another one to take note is Boxing Day. Now, we don't think about Boxing Day. It's a Canadian thing, right? We care about all that kind of nonsense. But American Express put out some research last year and after last year. And more people than ever have been taking advantage of after Christmas post-holiday sales. They actually plan on it. It's actually something that they sit around and they think about, and they actually have a plan to go out on the 26th to take advantage of these things. They want to use their gift cards. They want to take advantage of the discounts and the markdowns and get the, 50% off Christmas candy or whatever that might be. So this is something you can take advantage of. Now, you shouldn't forget about attracting customers and boosting your profits through some, well-timed post-holiday sales. So if you have some things that maybe you didn't sell through the holidays, and again, you're as an e-commerce brand, that December 14th date, that free shipping day, what happens between December 14th and let's say Christmas? Your sales are going to slow down a little bit, right? Because people who have already, if they haven't bought from you in that time, it's really tough for them to order and get things on time. You're going to get people that want 2-day shipping, sure, but you start to get a little bit slower at that point in time. So you'll start to get a better idea of what products you may have left over after Christmas. So it's a great time to think about, maybe after Christmas, I can do a sale on these items that I think I'm going to have left over, and maybe move some of this potential leftover merchandise and turn some of this product into cash. People are going to take advantage of it. If you sold a bunch of gift cards for the holidays, why not have a post-holiday sale to capitalize on it? Now, there's a couple other dates I didn't include in that first list, and these are 3 dates that you got to keep in mind. One goes right back to Kate's point earlier, production deadlines. Now, this year, because of the supply chains, this is going to be really tricky. So you're going to want to start reaching out to everyone you have within your supply chain, your production chain, things like custom packaging, if you're using custom packaging, things like people that are sending you your products, maybe people that are doing your shipping if you're using a 3PL or anything like that. Anyone involved anywhere in your delivery, your production, your inventory, and your packaging, and get an idea of what is happening with their deadlines and their timeframes. Because what you might find is normally it takes you 2 weeks to order custom packaging, but right now it might take them 3 weeks. And then because of the holidays, it might take an extra week. So it might be a 4-week turnaround. It's important to start understanding that stuff now, what the impact's going to be. You don't want to run out of gift boxes in the middle of December or the middle of November. You don't want to suddenly realize I don't have enough product 2 weeks before Black Friday, and it's going to be 4 weeks to get it. That's not really going to work out for you, right? So time is now to reach out and understand what's happening, what those deadlines are going to look like. Put those on a calendar, put reminders on your phone. Make sure you understand when these deadlines are and order up. Next one is a code freeze. Now, this code freeze may or may not apply to you, but if you are doing any kind of changes to your website, and I don't mean, you're uploading a picture, you're going to change a word here, you're going to, add a new blog or, something like that. I mean, if you're going to do any kind of coding work, if you have a developer or an expert, or you're someone who goes in and tinkers with your code, please don't do that anything closer than 2 weeks prior to, like Thanksgiving or Black Friday. Don't do that. Avoid last minute code issues. This ensures that your code's going to be stable, that your theme is functional, it's optimized. And if you're working with a developer, you're working with a Shopify expert, you're working with, somebody who works with the code, they're probably going to have their own code freeze date, but 2 weeks is a really good window. This gives you time to test, gives you time to get feedback, gives you time to fix anything that maybe isn't working right. If you get too close to that, if you start tinkering with stuff a couple days before, hey, everyone gets busy. People go on vacations. People are with their families. It can be really tough to get things fixed. So 2 weeks prior is a pretty good standard. Now, if you don't deal with your code, you're not tinkering with your code, good for you. You don't have to worry about it. And the next one is shipping cutoff dates. So if you're using DHL, USPS, UPS, Canada Post, if you're using ShipBob or Shippo or, any of these other places, get an idea of what these timelines are going to be like and set a date for products to arrive for Christmas by various methods, whether it's your flat rate shipping, your standard shipping, your 2-day shipping, your express shipping, and get those into your shipping policies, get those into your product pages, get those into your website, your FAQs, get those communicated to customers, and give yourself a cushion, right? If UPS says the last day is December 14th, maybe that's really December 12th. Save yourself some headaches, but start communicating these early. Communicate them often, communicate them early. Set these cutoffs so people know when they have to buy by, when you have to get them out by. Because remember, it's not just that they have to buy them by, but you have to get those out by that time as well. So if you only ship products once a week on Thursday and I buy from you on Saturday, you're not going to ship till the following Thursday. I'm going to be pretty pissed off if suddenly my products don't get there by Christmas because it took you a week to get it out and that wasn't communicated to me. So make sure you communicate these things to customers, that these cutoffs, and that you have firm dates in place of when the last order date is for a customer, and that it's communicated. Cool. Any questions so far? We all good? Everyone's awake? Everyone's happy, healthy, you got coffee and all that good stuff? All right. So let's talk about analyzing and setting goals. So using existing data, you can really best set some business goals. And in this section, in this part, we're going to really talk about what you should analyze prior to really setting goals, and then some ideas of some goals setting for the season. Because it's not just about making money. I really want to push that. I hope that's a takeaway everyone can walk away with, because we think about Black Friday, Cyber Monday as it's a big time of year, lots of customers, lots of traffic, and make lots of money. But there's so much more than that if we do it right. So whether it's your first Black Friday, Cyber Monday, holiday season, holiday craziness, or you're an experienced veteran, analyzing the following sections, analyzing some of these, these reports can really help you during this planning phase. Now, some of these are things you can find within like your Shopify analytics. If you're using Shopify, if you're using other platforms, they have similar reports. Some of these are things we'll find externally. So by analyzing top products by units sold plus top online store searches, right? So these first two lines, you get a good solid idea of what your customers are interested in. Now, why is that important? Well, this is going to assist you in determining which products you should stock and how much inventory you're going to need. Now, both these reports you can find within Shopify Analytics, they're built in, but if you're not using Shopify, you might have to do a little bit of digging. These are two reports that give you an idea of what you should have in stock ready for your customers this year. Essentially, you should know what your most popular items are. What are people looking for? What are people buying? How much are people buying? These are things that, have your top 5 items, draw a line. What are my top 5 items, my top 10 items? These are items I'm not going to run out of this year. I'm going to over order on these 5 items, my top 5 items. These are items everyone's searching for in my store. I'm going to make sure I have them. I'm going to over order them. I'm going to over index in these things. I'm going to be ready to rock and roll on them. Make sure you have them. Now, another one down there, number 3, is what's trending. And this, again, goes to Kate's point earlier. It's a question. You got to know your industry. You got to know your competitors. You got to know what's happening in the world. What's in the news? What's happening in not just your own industry, but in the business environment around, right? There's a lot going on right now. Do some research to learn more about what's trending. It'll be useful information for your buying plan, for your selling plan, even for how you decide to advertise, when you decide to advertise, and the verbiage you use, how you decide to go to market, and how you communicate it. If you know that the supply chain is all jacked up and that people are starting to stress it, that gives you leverage when you start to communicate a marketing plan. And just like we talked about earlier, right? If you don't know that, and you go and you wait, and you just go business as usual, la-di-da, you're going to miss out on some opportunity. And everybody else is out there saying, buy early, shop now, supply chain's broken, and you're just chugging along, cruise control set, you could miss out. View some industry reports. What did third-party research companies and professionals in the industry report? What are they pretending? What are they predicting? What do they say are trending? Right? I mean, hopefully you're subscribing to these things like in Google News feeds, and you're reading marketing reports and news and things like that. Now's the time to really start digging into these a little bit, because there's lots of people that are starting to really lean into what's coming down the pipeline. What's this holiday season going to look like? What are some trends we can start to expect? What are early numbers going to look like? They're doing surveys, lots of surveys taking place. And this is information you can use to start formulating your strategy for this year. And again, if you don't have it, you really can't use it. But it's time to start really leaning into this information. If you want to leverage, we're small businesses, right? We're not Nike, we're not Macy's, we're not billion-dollar companies here. If we want to play in this field, we have to leverage the tools that are available to us. And these are the tools that are available to us. We don't have our own marketing departments. We don't have our own research departments. So we got to go out and find them ourselves. It's all out there. There's plenty of, it's all free. It's out there. It's just, we got to go kind of snoop around and find them. Google's our friend. News reports are our friend. Things like Morning Brew newsletters are our friend. Tons of resources out there, but we got to go snooping around and dig them up. Now, one of the things I hope was a takeaway for everyone is, what are you looking to gain from Black Friday, Cyber Monday, holiday selling season? I threw a couple things in here. Everyone is going to raise their hand and go, I just want to make a bunch of money. I want to get comfortable throughout the year. I want to set myself up. Well, yeah, generate more revenue. I added number one. Yeah, of course you do. We all do. I hope everyone here, meet your sales goal, exceed your sales goal, makes a ton of revenue. Yeah, I hope so. I hope it's profitable revenue. If it's not profitable revenue, it doesn't make any sense, right? I mean, if you just break even throughout the holidays, then you could have just done nothing and done the same thing, right? I mean, save yourself all the stress and work and done nothing and stayed home, watched TV and had the same result. So I hope you have profitable revenue. I hope it's money in your pocket. But what else? I mean, is that all you want? Is there more? What about getting new Facebook followers, Instagram followers? What about TikTok followers? What about new email subscribers? Maybe it's growing that newsletter audience. Maybe you have a ton of old product or surplus of old inventory that you want to clear out through this holiday. Turn that stuff to cash. I mean, let's be honest. If you're a small business, you have 10 boxes of products sitting in your garage right now, that's money. That's stuff that you paid for. You got to turn it back to cash. This is the best time of year to do it. What about data? I mean, do we think about it in that term? You're going to have more traffic to your site potentially than any other time of year in terms of a closed period of time. If you want to grab a big, deep chunk of data, this is the time to do it. If you want to get insight into how people view your site, how your site works, get understanding of who comes to your site, where they come from, what time of day they come, what works, what doesn't work, all those kinds of things. Now is the time. Launch a new item? Sure. You want to get new reviews for your website? Now's the time. More traffic than ever, right? All these kinds of things can happen this time of year. But if you don't plan for it, if you don't set it as a goal, it's probably not going to happen. I mean, a plan, it's like, if you just want to think about, if you just want to wake up and just kind of say, well, I'd really like this to happen. That's just a dream. You got to make a plan to happen. If you want to make a plan for this to happen, if you really want it to happen. Setting a goal is also going to give you a metric to measure out the success. So if you want to move this product line and you know you have 100 pieces, then clearly you have a metric you can measure, right? If I have 100 shirts I want to sell, then boom, there's a metric to measure success. If you sold 80 out of 100, cool. Easy metrics to measure success by. These are things that you can clearly define. Subscribers to your email list, Facebook followers, Instagram followers, TikTok followers. Maybe you want to launch a new channel. We'll get into that in a minute. Maybe you want to, dip your toes into the TikTok water over this. Maybe you want to launch videos and get videos going, or start blogs or holiday lists, or whatever it is you want to do. Think about them now. Be something beyond just making some more cash, because there's so much more opportunity here you can lean into. Look at your bottom sellers, the things that just don't really move. Maybe you want to clear those out. And if so, how are you going to do that this time of year? Can you sell them at cost and just blow them out and start fresh, get rid of them? Maybe. If so, this is the time of year to do it, right? Maybe you can create a promotion of buy one, get one free, or buy this item and get one of these at half off, still cover your cost on it, and you move out that old inventory to make room for new stuff, or to at least provide you the cash to buy new things. Tons of opportunity. It's just a matter of planning for it strategically at this point. Now, another thing, and anyone who's ever talked to me for any length of time, or you sat through my one-on-ones, or been in my webinars or workshops, or been unlucky enough to be stuck in a car with me on a way to a conference, knows that branding is, to me, the foundation of business. And I spend a lot of time talking to merchants and business owners and of different sizes and scope. So many come to me and say, Chris, I've been open for a year. I got a ton of traffic to my site. I'm not making the sales I need to make. 80% of those come back to a branding conversation. Now, holiday time is a little bit different, because branding takes on a bit of a different scope and scale and meaning across the holidays, because people are buying for other people. So the game changes a bit. But with that being said, if I'm going to invite you, you're all great people. If I'm going to invite you all over to my house, right? You're all going to come down here to LA, South Pasadena. You're going to come to my house. Well, I'm going to clean up first. I'm going to mow my grass, and I'm going to do dishes and make my bed, and, I'm going to tidy up. I'm going to make a good first impression. It's the same damn thing with your business. And branding is what that is. Before you go out and market, before you go out and do advertising, before you go out and invite businesses or people or anyone to your website, to your business, to your brick and mortar, to your pop-up, you want to make sure that things look good, that you are optimized, that you are going to maximize the potential for every single visitor to convert. And by doing that, you're going to make the most out of every single visitor. Branding really does that. Without that, well, what's happening here now? Without that, you really don't have that ability. And so there's 4 things we're going to talk about. I'm not going to spend an hour through this. I could easily spend an hour going through branding, but I do want to cover 4 pillars of it really quick, and we'll move through these very, very quickly. 1, we're going to talk about unique selling proposition. We're going to talk about having great photography, product descriptions, and target audience. Target audience is a bit of a weird one at the holiday time. So it's important to kind of take a step back and understand what that looks like and why that's a little bit squiggly at the holiday time. Now, with unique selling proposition, sometimes people call it a value proposition. Technically, they're a little bit different, but for the sake of this discussion, we're going to lump them all together. That unique selling proposition essentially is what makes your brand, service, or product different than the competition. And it can be anything. Anything. Locally owned business. Everything's handcrafted. We are woman-owned business, Latino-owned business, Black-owned business. We have the biggest selection on the East Coast. It can be anything. The process you use, the materials you use, it can be anything. It's just something that you're going to lean into that someone would care about. But that's the rub. That's the second part of it. Because being different isn't enough, is it? I mean, it's great to say I'm different, but you got to tell someone why they would care that you're different. Let's look at Allbirds here. Allbirds is a great brand. Allbirds has 2 ways to go here. Now, anywhere you look at Allbirds, you look at their Instagram, their Facebook, their emails, their website, anything, you're going to see the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. World's most comfortable shoes. And they are. They're like wearing slippers. But look over here. The little red thing there. There you go. Everything in their shoes are eco-friendly, sustainable, completely eco-friendly, right? That could easily be a great, unique selling proposition. All of our shoes are eco-friendly. So why did they choose to say world's most comfortable shoes? Well, sadly, not everybody cares about their footwear being eco-friendly, but pretty much everyone can relate to having comfortable shoes. But it's not always that easy. I mean, let's talk about something that's not so obvious. Let's say I have a product line, I have a website, a store, and I sell handbags. And these handbags are locally made, handcrafted, using imported Italian leather. Sounds nice, right? Sounds expensive. And that's my unique selling proposition, is that these are all locally made, handcrafted handbags made with imported Italian leather. That's what makes them a little bit different. But as a customer, to you, the customer, so what? Why do you care? What's in it for you? I mean, think about that a second. Why do you care? It sounds nice. It sounds fancy. It's nice. Why should you pay $500 for a handbag just because I chose to use some expensive leather? Does it last longer? Does it age better? Does it look nicer? Does it do something special? Is it magic? Like what happens to it? Do I look younger when I carry it? Like what's in it for me? What if I said, I make handbags. These are locally made handbags that are all handcrafted using imported Italian leather that is a heavier grade than the average leather and will last you twice as long. Well, now you start to understand why this could be valuable to you. Now you understand what's the benefit to you, the customer, right? It's going to last you longer. The why is everything. This is Mast Chocolate. Now, Mast is a great company. I like Mast. Mast sells $12 chocolate bars. Yeah, I kind of laughed too. I thought, wow, okay. And then you read this and you think, we begin by literally hand sorting every bean, ensuring our impossibly high, what? You know, it's 2021, man, get a machine. Why are you hand sorting beans? I don't understand. I got to pay $12 for a chocolate bar because you hand sort beans. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like as a customer, I don't get it. But what if I told you that they hand sort beans because they provide hundreds of jobs in third world countries, and 50% of their profits go back to send the children of their workers to school and buy clothes for their families? Suddenly I feel pretty okay about supporting this company. The why can be everything. And as you're thinking about your brand and your business and your website and your pages and your About Us pages and that Small Business Saturday and all these different things, make sure you explain the why. It's not just enough to say we're an LA-based t-shirt company. That's nice. But let people know why they should care. If you're going to say we're a woman-owned business, let them know why that matters, why they should support that. If you're going to say we are, we hand sort every bean, let them know why that matters. Why they care. Why should they care about things? It's important to let people know why so they connect to it. And the next part of this is that people are only going to connect to things that they respond to in those first couple of seconds. We shop, unfortunately, whether we like it or not, we are in this world of visual, this kind of visual world, whether it's Tinder and dating sites or it's Amazon or it's, Instagram. We look at something and within a couple of seconds, we make a decision. Either we like it and we'll click on it, or we doesn't do anything for us and we just move on. And that goes back to the visuals. So before I read that about us page, before I click on your website and read through it all, before I read that 5,000 word blog you wrote, you got to grab my attention first. there's two types of photography that really make a difference and that are really out there in the world that connect people to websites. One is the product shot. Now, the product shot is purely mental. Don't get fooled. It's purely a mental connection. It's there to validate and justify the purchase decision. Think of it like a mental checklist. Yep, it looks good. I like the color. I like the style. The quality looks good. You know, you're checking off these boxes. Yep, it's worth the $50 they're asking for it. Purely mental. No emotional connection, no physical connection, no psychological connection. Just, yep, looks good. It's worth it. So when you get up here, the lifestyle shots, that you start getting a psychological and emotional connection. Now, this time of year, there's something else that happens that's really important as well. And that's that it gives scale. If I told you this watch is 38 millimeters, that doesn't mean much. I'm buying it for little Johnny or whatever, and doesn't mean a whole lot to me. But if I see it on her wrist, now, okay, I get that. If I tell you this bag is 14 by 6 by 9, I don't know what that means. I'm not that smart of a dude. But if I see it hanging on her body, okay, I get it. Small bag. Yep, got it. Cool. So the pictures can give scale. Really, really important this time of year. This tells you that, yes, it's worth the money. It's good quality. This shows it how it fits on a body. Okay, cool. Or how it fits in a room, or what the size is really like, right? Okay, yep, I get that. But something else happens up here. Because when you start to play with lifestyle photography, what happens is your mind says, yep, those look good on her. It's a great product and they look really good on her. And your mind translates this into, yep, they look good on her. They look good on me. And when they look good on you, you've already started that purchase decision. And when someone's already started that purchase decision, they've already started that process of the checkout. They've already started moving their way through that checkout process. It's really, really an important process, really, really an important part of the buyer journey to have that lifestyle photography. It's great for your Instagram. It's great for your websites. It's great for your homepage, but it is really crucial to have it on your checkouts, on your product pages. Really crucial to have lifestyle photography in your websites. Absolutely crucial. A couple other things you can do with photography. One, this time of year, depending on where you're at and depending on COVID and depending on, what else is going on in the world, as much as possible, think about recreating the buyer experience in a retail store. Now, when all of you looked at this picture, everyone's eyes went back here and then slightly to the right, statistically. You went to the center and to the back, statistically. Everyone here knows what this room is like. We've all been here. We know the smell of the rubber on the bike tires. We know if this air-conditioned space, what that cold leather seat would feel like. We know what this is like. How can you recreate walking into a store with your website? Having a cashier or somebody that says, hi, can I help you? Or at least having someone there to ask a question if needed. Maybe it's as simple as just having a chat app. Maybe it's just having, a visual image that somehow recreates a shopping experience. Just give it some thought. It's not possible for every brand. It's not necessary for every brand. But sometimes being able to recreate that in-person shopping experience can really make a difference with making people feel more comfortable in the shopping and building that trust. Now, writing copy is another part of this puzzle, and it's the hardest part for me. It's the art of, it's like part art, part science, and by definition, it's actually the act of, writing something that gets someone, it's like strategically writing something that gets someone to take some form of action, persuade someone to take some form of action. Click here, do this, buy now, add to cart, tag a friend, give me your email address, whatever it may be. Writing like this can be very, very hard, especially when you're weaving in keywords and all these kinds of things. But once people lay it on your page, it helps increase conversion rates. And you got to remember, when I'm on your checkout page, when I'm on your checkout page, there's really nowhere else for me to go, right? I mean, essentially, what's the next step? I add the cart or I leave the page, correct? So you really got to hit a home run here on this page. You really need to hit a home run here with your copy to make sure this is done right and well. And then last and certainly not least, on your target audience, people are buying for friends and family. So making sure that your target audience isn't too specific on your images. Using an image that's going to alienate or exclude people will definitely turn some people away. If I'm shopping for grandparents and I see young kids on a website, I might be inclined to not make that purchase for my grandparents. Conversely, if I'm buying for kids and I see grandparents on there, I might be inclined not to purchase for them. So just keep that in mind. You want to be a little more neutral than normal this time of year with your target audience, right? It's great to have these pictures. It's great to be very, very targeted most of the year. This time of year, pull back a bit and just be a slight bit more inclusive than normal. A couple more things really quick, and these next parts go pretty fast. We want to talk about website optimization. How many of you have taken a look at your website on a mobile device as a customer in the last 30 days? I've actually gone to your website and gone in as a customer and gone all the way through the checkout to see what that checkout looks like. I would imagine not many. Most people don't, sadly. Most people haven't actually taken a look at their website this way in quite a while. We build the site and then we start working on the back end and managing the site, managing the business. But we don't take the time to actually go in and look at it as a customer in that sense. We've added apps, we've made changes, we've made updates, but we don't go in and look as a customer would look on a laptop, on a mobile phone, to see what customers really look like, what it really looks, to see what a customer really experiences. You'd be surprised how often I find apps that have popped up and block and add to cart button, or you can't find a way to X out of a pop-up, or perhaps there's a silver add to cart button with a white font against a white background and you can't read the font. It happens more frequently than you know, because we work with it on one page and then we don't actually go through the whole checkout process. It happens. So if you want, the first step would be go through your site on a mobile, go through it on a laptop, make sure no links are broken. Look at every single page. Look at every single link. Go through it just like a customer. Add something to cart, add something to the website, shop in it. Look at your About Us page, look at your policies, look for typos. Make sure every single thing works and is in good shape. Identify any areas of improvement, communicate it with whoever's working on your site, if it's yourself or a developer, whoever's working on it. Reach out to us if you need a hand. We'll be happy to work on it with you. Or consider even possibly changing up your theme for something that is specific for the holidays. It's an easy way to do it as well. But testing your site, making sure your search function works is another good one. But going through your site and really making sure that it works properly, top to bottom, all the way through the checkout. Make sure your shipping features work. Make sure your apps work. Make sure every single thing works as expected. Now's the time to do this. Also, have your friends do it. Ask 3 or 4 people on 3 or 4 different devices to test it out. Get some feedback. We are the site owners. We are in love with our sites. They're our babies. They're our kids. So we're attached to them emotionally. Sometimes it's easy for us to overlook things because it's the way we want it to look. But it doesn't really mean it's how we want our customers want it to look, or it's not what's best. So sometimes send it off to a friend to get an objective opinion. And next up, I want to talk about this really quick. It's a little bit controversial. Online store speed. It's important, really important. However, let me put it in context. What's number one, most important, absolute top of the mountain, the pinnacle of importance here is what your customer experiences. I don't care if your website's a 77 or a 7. If it looks good to me and it works good for me, that's really all I give a damn about. I checked Nike's site yesterday. It was a 17. It's horrible, but it looks fun. It looks great on my phone and it looks great on my laptop. So who cares? Now, for SEO benefits, yeah, of course, you want a good score. It matters. But in terms of optimizing your site and managing your site and prioritizing things to work on, look at it from the customer's perspective first. If it works good for the customer's view, you know, it loads fine, loads fast, loads great on all devices, don't panic. Put it on the back burner. Work on it a little bit. Improve it as you can. No reason to panic. If it doesn't load quick, doesn't load fast, then yeah, we gotta spend some time. Reach out to us, we'll help you out. But yeah, it's gotta get some fixing done. But keep in mind the customer's perspective. That's what's number one. That's what's most important here. And then do an app audit. Any apps you're not using, get rid of them. If you don't know what it does, reach out to us or get rid of it or experiment with it. Test all your apps. Make sure they all work. Make sure you know what they all do. If you have a couple apps that are doing the same thing, yeah, pick one and get rid of the others. Don't run any barrier to entry apps. And what I mean by barrier to entry apps, you should absolutely, positively, 1000%, everyone here should have a pop-up that pops up and says, hey, thanks for coming by. Please subscribe to our newsletter. Every one of you should have that on your website through the holidays, 100%. However, it should be a small pop-up. It should be branded. It should look like it belongs on your site. It should be timed somewhere between 7 and 10 seconds. And it should be easy to find the little X to exit out of it. It should absolutely not be a full screen. It should not block the whole screen. It should not be sounds and clowns and fireworks and bells and whistles and spin to win apps and all kinds of nonsense. People are in a hurry to shop this time of year. They're going through a lot of websites. Last thing they want to do is have to deal with all kinds of extra nonsense just to get to where they want to get to, right? So keep it simple. Keep it classy, keep it simple, keep it efficient, keep it effective. Not a lot of extra nonsense in there. Sales channels. Think about what sales channels you're going to sell on. Facebook and Instagram, probably a must for everyone here. Google, probably a must for everyone here. But what about TikTok? What about Pinterest? What about Walmart or Amazon or Etsy or any of these others? Maybe. If it's right for you, it's time to start thinking about it. Point of sale. What about that? I think everyone here should have a credit card reader and the point of sale attached to your store. It's free, right? It doesn't cost anything to do it. It doesn't even require any setup to do. If I see you on the street and I say, hey, I really like that product in your store, and you say, yeah, cool, go home and buy it from the website, I might do that. But if you pull out a credit card reader and you pull out your phone and you sync it with the Bluetooth and you take the sale right then and there, that's a guaranteed sale. And I'll take that any day of the week over, yeah, I might do that. Also, test out all your sales channels. Make sure everything is set up properly. Make sure everything is working, everything is connected. Again, reach out to us one-on-one, one of those one-on-ones if you have questions about them. But each sales channel is going to have a specific strategy. Are you going to run different advertising campaigns? What are you doing on TikTok? What are you going to do on Facebook? Are you going to have different products available on different channels? It's a good one. There might be some products that you're only going to have available on Facebook that are not going to be available in your store. Maybe you're doing a pop-up and that pop-up is going to have specific products not available anywhere else. You know, maybe your strategy is you're only going to sell the previous season's inventory on Amazon, and you're going to include a little note in every box that goes out on Amazon that says, hey, check out our website. And all your new product is going to be available on your online store. So you're creating that omni-channel experience, right? Selling it through all your new stuff and converting Amazon customers to your website customers. And then you just sell the Amazon stuff at a discount so that you win the new customers over and you get rid of your old stuff. Whatever that would look like. But think about these channels and think about these campaigns. Shipping is another biggie, really biggie. So you're going to go to shipping settings. You want to get all your shipping weights accurate so that your prices are accurate. Make sure that you have all of your shipping rates and strategies and things like this in place, right? So your shipping rates are right. Make sure you test them. Make sure you decide on your packaging. Are you doing custom packaging? Are your boxes right? Are you changing boxes? Are you going to do a packing slip? What about an insert? Something that says 10% off your next sale, or follow us on Etsy or on Instagram, or leave us a review. Thank you for buying a product, or throw some stickers in, or whatever it might be. Something like that. What about custom shipping profiles? Maybe you need to go in and you have some new products, so you need to have some custom profiles. So some things are going to be flat rate, some things are going to be free shipping, some things are going to be Canada Post, some things are USPS. All that stuff you should be giving some thought to right now. But the two biggies I'd give a lot of thought to. What is your shipping strategy? Are you going to do flat rate? Are you going to do free shipping? Are you going to have the customer pay for the shipping cost? Give those thoughts now, because those can affect your branding and your verbiage and your policies and all that kind of thing. And then think about the unboxing experience. Unboxing is a big thing on social media. What would it look like if someone recorded an unboxing video on social media with your product? It's your last chance to make a lasting positive impression on your customer, right? And if they get just a crappy brown box and they open it up and some old dirty, wrinkled up newspaper in there, they pull out your product and it's just kind of thrown in there randomly, it's not going to be a great video, great experience for anybody. But if it's like this picture right here, it's nicely thrown in there, maybe not with the styrofoam, but it's nicely thrown into a nice box. It's nicely wrapped. Maybe there's a little card tucked in there, a little sticker or something. It's a great impression. They tell their friends, everyone sees it, leaves them with a positive idea, a positive note. They're much more inclined to leave a review or to buy again. Something to give thought to. Also, a couple other things. Google Analytics. If you don't have Google Analytics in your store, please, please, please go to Google Analytics right now, set up a free account, get the number and add it to your store. It's just you paste the number to your Shopify store. Even if you don't use it, even if you don't see it again for 6 months, get it set up so it's collecting data through this holiday season. It's one of the most important things you can do is grab this data through this holiday season. It's going to give you an immense amount of data. Get gift cards enabled. Whether you're just going to do virtual gift cards, or want to have in-person, physical gift cards, up to you. But get gift cards enabled so you can sell gift cards. You can also consider setting up a heat map app. Something like Lucky Orange is a great one, where you can watch video recordings of people in your store, how they shop, what they click on, what pages they went to, what links they went to. Did they go to the top, to the bottom? You can actually see their behavior so you get a better understanding of how the visitors interact with your website. It's not a free app, so it's something you maybe turn on November 1st, turn off December 1st, something like that. But it's a great time of year to do that. And then if you don't already have a COVID response page, it's a great opportunity to really create one. Going back to that thing about small businesses, it's a great way to build trust. It's a great way to let them know that this is a small business that's run by someone who cares. It's a real person doing real things, who cares about real people. It's just sharing with your customers what you're doing in these times and what safety precautions you're taking. It's just one way to throw things out there that let people know, this is a real business, doing real things, and we're all kind of in this together. Instead of build trust. And we're almost done here. We're going to wrap up with marketing, and we'll talk about the post data really quick. But moving on to the marketing aspect of BFCM, this section is probably the part we're the most comfortable with. Everyone's thought about marketing. You've probably already started thinking about marketing. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time through there because a marketing strategy is probably the one thing everyone's the most comfortable with. But I want to break it down into what you should do now, what you should do 2 weeks prior, and then what you do actually in the holiday portion. Right now, you want to start with improving your SEO. It takes the longest to do. In fact, it can take 30 to 60 days before you even really see any impact of it. So I would start working on your SEO. I would go through your meta descriptions, your alt text, your titles, your product descriptions, anything to do with SEO. Now is the time to do it. and then update your sitemap. That way, Google is referencing the most recent content. Update that sitemap, probably do that once a month throughout the next portion of the holidays. Keep updating that sitemap so it's the most recent content. Start running some ads. This way you're getting some activity around the website as well. You're creating a bit of noise. You're getting that algorithm going. You're kind of getting off to a running start, so to speak. Be sure to have that email opt-in form, that pop-up I mentioned earlier on your page. This is going to be there to kind of grow these email subscribers. You're going to want to make sure it works right. You're going to make sure it looks good. You're going to make sure it's in place and it's working. So getting it there is now is a great time to get that built in. Promoting early access to sales by joining your email list. That's a great strategy to start getting people on this email now, this newsletter now. And then start creating holiday shopping guides. I mentioned earlier that people shop with intention this time of year on their laptops. So creating these guides now, it's really beneficial since shoppers are beginning to make their shopping lists, well, now, essentially. This can be a page, it can be a blog post, it can be, a list on your Facebook page. It can be anything, right? It can be however you choose to do it. But be sure to use a buy button or a shoppable gallery app or, active links, things like that. So make it easy for people to go back to your website. The last thing you want to do is they say, oh, I saw these gray shoes I really liked. I don't remember what the website was though. Make sure they have that link to it. But start building out these guides so that you make the list. When I say I'm going to buy a shirt for Johnny, I have the link or I have the bookmark page or I have, the shirt from Johnny from, Greats brand right here or whatever it's going to be, right? Make sure you have that in place. Now's the time to start doing these things. Now, as we get to 2 weeks out, begin announcing your Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Thanksgiving, Small Business Saturday, these kind of sales and initiatives that you have planned. Start leaking them out. Maybe give a little early access to VIPs or newsletter subscribers, things like that. Maybe kind of trickling them out there on Facebook and Instagram little by little, just teasing things out there. By beginning to share the product sneak peeks, your customers are going to know what to expect. So when they visit your site, they're going to know what's coming. They're going to visit your site. They're going to be excited about coming to your site. You're going to start getting that anticipation. You're going to start building that excitement. And hopefully that's going to translate into traffic over this BFCM holiday. Many shoppers are going to make a list, like I mentioned, about where to buy, what to buy, and all that kind of thing. You want to be on that list. So it's all about keeping yourself in the front of their mind, keeping yourself on the list, on the top of that list, so they know when things happen, when they sit down at that laptop at that desk, you're on that list. And if you need to make any edits to your email notifications, your shipping policy notifications, return policy notifications, all that kind of thing, now's the time to do that as well. And then also, this is the time you're going to start ramping up your ads. About 2 weeks prior, you're going to start ramping up your ads. Much earlier than that, unless you're doing something really strategic, like a pre-shopping or early shopping campaign or something strategic, much earlier than that, and you run the risk of people seeing them and forgetting, right? You don't make the list. They see them and they forget. Unless you're doing like a buy now, shop early campaign. So about 2 weeks before, when you start ramping up the ads. And again, VIP early access, banners, hero images. These are the things you're going to do right around the game time. So whether this is on Thanksgiving Day, whether this is midnight on Thanksgiving, whenever you decide to really kick off this sale, this is when you're going to do it. And this is what you're going to do. So all the hard work is done. These are just the things you're going to pull the trigger on the last minute here. Updating your banners to convey that free shipping, highlight sales, brand message, all that kind of thing. If you're going to do like a rewards program, if you have a rewards program, a loyalty program, maybe you're going to do it. Maybe you normally do 1 point for every dollar spent, but during this period, you're going to do 2 points for every dollar spent. Now's the time to really do that. Activate that as well. And then tagging posts, tagging products on social media. It's a biggie. Make sure you tag your products to make it as easy as possible to convert a viewer into buyer. Remember, there's more competition than ever this period of time. More people are going to be seeing more ads than ever. They're in a more of a hurry than ever. So the more you can do to make it easier for them to buy with as few clicks, the better you're going to be. And finally, hope everyone's still awake. you want to have a look at a few things after you've done all this madness. Now, hopefully December 14th is come and gone. That last shipping crunch is kind of come and gone. You'll get a bit of a lull where things will kind of slow down as you get right before, that Christmas and all that kind of period, the Hanukkah and all these kind of things. It'll kind of slow down. Hopefully you have some time to take a break, take a breather, spend some time with family, eat some food and all that stuff. But you want to take a look at your reports and analytics to really understand what you did well, what you could use some re-strategizing, maybe what didn't go so well. And there's a few recommended reports that you can use to really analyze what happened. A couple of these would be sales by product, marketing campaign discount code. Let's see what campaign codes did well, worked for you. Traffic by referrer to see where your traffic sources came from during this period of time. And if you're selling internationally, billing country. So you can see where your traffic was coming from, where your key things were, where your key traffic was coming from. These are just a few of the reports you can go back through and start thinking about, where did everything come from? What was going well? Where was the sales coming from? Where were, what marketing campaigns went well? What discount codes did really well for me? Also, analyzing first-time customers versus returning customers can help you figure out cost per acquisition, which can be really valuable with that future sales planning and really figuring out that marketing budget going forward. Because if you know that, it costs you $5 to get me to your store to buy a $20 product, that may not be amazing. But if you know that it costs you $5 to get me to come to your store and buy a $20 product, and I come by every month and buy a $20 product, that's pretty damn good. You'll be happy about that. I'll take that every day. And then top online store searches report. This is a biggie. If I'm searching for things in your store and I'm not finding them, or I am finding them, let's say big and tall. I'm searching for big and tall in your store, and you don't have big and tall in your store. Well, that could be telling you that either that's a product you need to start carrying, or maybe you got to think about the wording you're using in your product descriptions or product titles. Or maybe things just aren't that easy to find. So you need to think about how you redo your menus or your collections going forward into this next year. It's giving you insight into how to change up your store to make it easier to find. If I'm looking for red t-shirts, if you got everybody's looking for red t-shirt in your store and they just can't find it, here jumpsuit right in the top, and they just can't find it, but you have it, that should give you, red flags, bells, whistles, fireworks that you need to make a change so that you can sell more jumpsuits. I hope that makes sense. It's just one of the many, many things you can do post-holiday to use some of this data and this influx of traffic to analyze and break down some of this data to really understand what changes you can make into your site to then start turning it into better sales for the next 12 months. I know we're over on time. I'm going to be respectful of your time. I apologize for all that. And I'll be happy to take any questions. So you feel free to drop them in the chats here. But we want to take a look at what we learned from 2020 and how we can apply it to our strategy for 2021. At this point in planning, it's really just about wider-based learnings. We don't want to get too specific, but what can we take from last year? What can we understand that are current buyer trends? What's still carrying over from 2020? And what can we take away from that and incorporate into this year's strategy? Dates for this year, noting all these important dates, picking the ones that maybe there's some opportunity in there that we can really dive into in these last 3 months of the year, the small business Saturdays and the, free shipping days and all that kind of thing. And then, take the time to really be specific, go through reports, go through analytics, figure out what is selling, what's not, what's trending, what's old inventory. Start to paint a picture of, what do we really want to accomplish over this holiday selling season, other than making some more money? Is it selling through old inventory? Is it getting more customers or more subscribers to the newsletter? Let's set some good real goals apart beyond from just making some cash. Take a good objective look at branding. Look at your store through a customer's eyes. Is everything on point? You only get one shot at that first impression, so let's make it a good one. Preparing your website for the holiday selling season, super important. Audit your site, test your site, have other people check your site. Make sure it loads fast. Make sure your apps all work, your sales channels all work. Make sure that customer shopping experience is not only easy and intuitive, but it's efficient. break down that marketing strategy and your to-do list by different stages of the holiday, so it's palpable, it's attainable. What am I going to do now? What am I going to do 2 weeks from now? What am I going to do the day of, or before? And by all means, if you need to reach out for help, use that link for the one-on-ones. Reach out. Happy to work through any of these things with you if you need help with SEO or any of this kind of stuff. And then last but not least, after you're running through this campaign, that would be a great time to grab a one-on-one with us. Let's go through your report. Let's take a deep dive through the last 90 days, 60 days, and let's figure out what worked, what didn't work, what can we extract from all of your data and reports and analytics, and then what information can we glean from there to turn into actionable strategy for the next 12 months to help increase your sales throughout 2022. And again, let me turn this off really quick. I'm happy to answer questions. I'll drop the link one more time in here, just in case anyone doesn't have it. Are there any questions? Anything you want to talk about? Any topics? Anything you want me to go deeper into? I know it's a ton of information and you've been listening to me babble on for an hour and a half. I don't envy you at all. I wouldn't want to do that. But here we are. So any questions or anything you'd want to talk about or ask about regarding marketing, Black Friday, e-commerce, websites, Shopify, anything really. This is always the part where I get nervous. Either everyone's typing furiously and I'm going to get hit with a bunch of really hard questions all at once, or, everyone's pretty happy and content with everything I said and, we're good to go.
All right, well, if you do have questions, you can hang around, but I just wanted to thank you, Chris, for all of that excellent information. And this recording, we will send out a link after after we conclude. We'll send it out after it gets downloaded, so probably tomorrow. But thank you so much for giving of your time and your expertise. And again, if anybody has questions, you can feel free to stick around. Otherwise, we will be in touch with you later. Thank you.